We'd chosen the cheap folding tables because they were easy to put away, which felt symbolic even then. Streamers sagged by noon. The cake leaned a little to the left. My daughter wore a crown made of cardboard and glitter that kept shedding onto her hair. She was 9, tall for her age, watchful. Already aware that adults sometimes said things that needed decoding. My parents arrived late, as usual, with a gift bag that looked heavy and expensive. My sister followed them in, laughing at something on her phone. Already narrating the day for an audience that wasn't there. I told myself to keep it light. I'd practiced the smile in the mirror. I'd promised myself this would be a clean afternoon. We sang. She made a wish with the seriousness of someone who believed wishing mattered. Plates clinked. Someone asked about school. Someone else asked if she was still struggling with math, the word struggling landing like a casual diagnosis. I intercepted with cake. Then my dad stood, tapping his fork against his glass. The sound cut through frosting and chatter. He said he wanted to say something special. My daughter straightened hopefully. She liked speeches. She liked to be seen. He handed her the card. She opened it carefully, reading silently at first. I watched her eyebrows pinch, the way they do when she's trying to solve a puzzle. She glanced up at me, then back down. Then read it aloud because that's what kids do when they think they're supposed to. To the one who tries her best. She read, pausing, but still fails. My sister snorted. Not loud, just enough to be heard. My dad smiled like he'd delivered wisdom. It's about resilience, he said preemptively. Learning early. The room did that thing where people waited to see how it would be framed. If this was funny, they'd laugh. If it was serious, they'd nod. My daughter's mouth opened, closed. She searched for a reaction to mirror. I didn't stand. I didn't raise my voice. I reached out, took the card from her hands, and tore it cleanly in half. The sound was louder than I expected. Paper gives way decisively. This is the last gift you'll ever give her, I said. Not as a threat, as a statement. My sister rolled her eyes. Oh my God, she said. It's a joke. My dad's face hardened into the look he wore when challenged, offended, injured, righteous all at once. You're overreacting, he said. Kids need honesty. My mother stared at her plate. She always did when the temperature changed. Neutrality had been her longest marriage. I felt my heart hammer, but not with panic. With a kind of alignment. The words had come out exactly as they were meant to. No flourish. No apology. My daughter leaned into my side. I put my arm around her. Steady, get some air. I murmured to her. I'll be right here. She hesitated, trained to stay. But then nodded and slipped outside, crown askew, glitter trailing behind her. That's when my grandmother stood up. She had been quiet all afternoon. Seated at the end of the table, hands folded. When she rose, her chair scraped the floor. The sound pulled everyone's attention to her body before her voice arrived. She was shaking. Not frail, furious, no, she said, just that at first. Then louder, steadier, no more. My dad turned toward her, surprised. He still saw her as an ally, as the origin of his rules. My sister smirked again, then stopped when she saw my grandmother's face. I raised you to survive. My grandmother said to my dad. Because that's all I knew how to do. I told you praise made people weak. I told you love had to be earned. And you took that and sharpened it. She looked around the table. I watched you pass it down like it was a family recipe. My mother's fork slipped from her fingers and clattered against the plate. You don't get to carve it into a child. My grandmother said, her voice breaking now, not with uncertainty but with the effort of restraint finally released. Not again. Not while I'm still breathing. Silence followed, not the awkward kind but the stunned kind. The kind that rearranges a room. My dad opened his mouth, then closed it. For once, he had no script that fit. My grandmother sat back down slowly, as if gravity had returned. She reached for her water with shaking hands and drank. No one spoke after that. The party dissolved without ceremony. People gathered their things. Cake went uneaten. My parents left early. My sister didn't say goodbye. I found my daughter outside, sitting on the curb, picking glitter from her knees. I sat beside her. We didn't talk about the card. We talked about her wish. We talked about how sometimes adults say things that are about themselves. Later that night, after the house was quiet, I lay awake and let the cost of it all arrive. I hadn't fixed anything. I'd ended something, maybe several things. But when I checked on my daughter before bed, she was asleep, crown on the nightstand, face calm. That felt like enough for now. Some boundaries don't come with closure, they come with space. And sometimes that's the only gift worth giving.